International search. So this is a sticking point for a lot of people, companies that want to do business in a number of different countries. They often have trouble from a search engine optimization point of view. So when you're targeting a foreign country market, simple translation of your website is not enough. How many people have seen really bad translations in their language of a website? Have you seen, yeah? Yeah, I mean, it's really, oftentimes people, they just plug their website into Google Translate and then put it up, and it's horrible. Really, really bad usually. So it's just not enough. So when you're optimizing for a site, there's a lot of different options, but for the most part, if you're really concentrating in a particular country, the best bet is what's called a country code top-level domain. So if you're optimizing for Canada, you want to buy the .ca. If you're optimizing for the UK, you want to buy the .co.uk. If you're optimizing for Brazil, you want to buy the .com.br. And this is generally really good for your international rankings. Localized backlinks are really vital to these rankings. So this happened to me. I was helping out a catering company in Singapore, and I started building links to their site. And I was trying to get them to rank really well for variations on catering Singapore, Singaporean catering companies Singapore. So I started to get all these links related to catering, and the rankings weren't going up. They didn't have any rankings at all. I couldn't get it to work. And nothing was working. And then all of a sudden I started to target Singaporean links. So first I concentrated on catering links, and then I started just concentrating on .sg and .com.sg domains. And once I built a certain number of Singaporean links, all the rankings went up in google.com.sg. Right? So the point was that I hadn't created a strong geographic footprint for that website, but then once I had placed enough Singaporean links pointing to it, then it started ranking in Singaporean searches. And so the point is when you're doing international linking, when you're trying to rank for an international phrase, you really want links from those domains pointing to that page. So just keep that in mind when you're building links. All right, so here's the example. A link from website.com.tw pointing to tommy.com.tw is a signal to search engines that that site is designed for Taiwanese users, right? So you want to be creating that signal to the search engines and letting them know that those are the users you're designing for. Right, the rule of thumb is search engines design their algorithm for users. So a site with a strong signal for a particular country will rank better in local search engines. And think about it, right? How often, when you're in the US and you're Googling around, how often do you see .cn domains, Chinese domains? How often do you see .it or .fr? You really don't, right? So whatever country you're in, you're frequently seeing the domains from those countries. And that makes sense, right? So you really want to segment how you're thinking about international search engine optimization. Now, a lot of people can't do this. A lot of people don't have the time, the effort, the energy, the resources to create a new domain for every country they're ranking in. So if that's the case, a lot of Fortune 500 companies do this. Use a subfolder. So you have your website, tommy.com, and all your Canadian content is in /ca. If you're aiming for the UK, tommy.com/UK. So if you don't want to set up 20 different domains, just setting up a country code subfolder is the way to go for international content. And when in doubt, I like to copy what the big boys do. So if you take a look at the Apple Store and take a look how they do it, you click the Australia button and you see store.apple.com/au. Right? So if you don't have an option, if you can't afford buying 20 different domains or you don't want to take the time or an effort to do that, setting up the country code subfolder is the way to go. Another thing worth doing is go to your Google Webmasters tool and you can target which country your website is designed for. This doesn't help that much. It can be helpful for in-country results, but it doesn't seem to help that much, but it's worth doing once. It only takes a second.